Good afternoon. My name is Beth Anne. In the fall of 2000, I started college at California University of Pennsylvania, where I chose to major in creative writing. It is taking me longer than the average person to get my degree, but I am getting there. As of now, I am a little over halfway finished, so I am really happy about that. It was always my dream to go to college since I was young. My family knew I was intelligent enough to attend college, but so did my teachers at my former school. Today, I want to tell you about my life and how I am pursuing my dream of a college education. Sam Varacek and David McNaughton contacted me last year, wanting to do a video about how I was succeeding at college. I went to the day school at the Children's Institute in Pittsburgh for 16 years. The Children's Institute is one of the 3 top leading schools for handicapped students in the country. When I started there, the teachers immediately saw that I was intelligent because I was excelling past the work the other students were doing. I ended up being one of the highest functioning students in the school. I was challenged at the Children's Institute, but only as much as the teachers could possibly do. Since they had to teach the rest of the students, they couldn't devote as much time to teach me one-on-one. As a result, my education lacked a lot, so when I started to attend college, it was more challenging for me than the average student. I am obviously not your typical college student because I can't walk or talk. Since I am unable to speak, I have used some form of a dialogue since 1994. I use a switch behind my head to select words and letters from the display, and then I can speak what I type.
There are a lot of good reasons for going to college. When we spoke to the people who have worked with and supported Beth Anne at California University, they talked about college as being a way to fulfill a dream, increase knowledge and communication skills, and to prepare for the workplace. We are also very interested in what Dr. Louise Van Kuren, one of Beth Anne's English professors, had to say.
The benefits of college for Beth Anne, I really think, are enormous. She's a bright, inquisitive person who is interested in so many things that I know she would learn on her own, and she'd pursue things without having the structure of college and the classroom and so forth. But this lets her be part of a learning community. In the classroom, she's one among the community of students, and they listen to her, she listens to them. We do small group work sometimes, and she interacts with that group. She participates fully in the discussion and gets involved in the talk. She sees herself in the context of other students too, what they do, what they're interested in, how they contribute, and I think she can see better that she's part of that same community. She might be communicating with a different medium to assist her, but she's a learner like them. She's someone who loves writing and literature as they do, and I think she has a social element and a learning element there that she couldn't have alone. The opportunity to be part of that, to be part of the college, is invaluable, I think. It gives her something that she would miss out on at home, if she had a tutor, for example. She gets to be part of the scene, and I think that has dimensions beyond learning, beyond having the interaction with the faculty and the students and the material. It's also an opportunity to see herself fitting into the world at large.
My original plan was to attend college for a degree in computer programming, but I took one course in it at a vocational school and decided that it was not for me. After that, I chose to pursue a major in creative writing. I chose California University of Pennsylvania because most of the classes are small, the campus is small, and it was close to home. They also did not require SAT scores for me. I only take 2 classes a semester because of the workload. I can't have too many writing classes at once. It would be way too much for me if I took more than 2 at a time. Since I use my Dynalogs and type using a switch with my head, writing constantly drains me, not only mentally but also physically. As you can imagine, participating in classes is a challenge because we talk about a lot of different topics, and I never know what kind of questions the professors will ask. Some professors will ask a question, and if they notice I am preparing a response, they will continue talking and then come back to me when I am ready to give my answer. This is a great skill that they have learned just from having me in their classes.
She found strength. At first, she did not see herself as someone who could survive this event. But in time, she began to look at what she had as a skill, and she saw herself as someone who could do. Yes.
She stood up for herself and became bolder.
Yes. She stood up for herself against people who were rather unkind to her.
I sometimes do my tests as take-home tests, especially if I have to do a lot of writing. It takes me about 2 hours to type a page. I took American literature one last fall, and when I got my first test back, I was in total shock because I got a 90% on it. When my teacher handed my test back to me, and my mom and I saw the score, we just looked at each other. I really didn't expect to do so well, but I guess I am better than what I thought at answering literature questions. And I am glad 17 hours of typing really paid off. I love college, even though the students don't associate much with me. It just comes with the territory of being handicapped. Sometimes we chat a little in class.
I appreciate it. So we're left here. That's what we were talking about. We're left here. And I don't think there's a lot of left. I like left here, yeah.
To be honest, I have no real friends from college, and that is something I have come to accept. Fortunately, though, I have about 4 good friends who I have had for many years. They know the true me, and my disability comes second to them. I would rather have a few close friends who truly care about me than many who don't know the true person inside. Aside from the students, I have had some very positive experiences at college. Since my major is creative writing, I have taken opportunities to be involved in writing activities. I have written many poems, newspaper articles, and presentations. In the spring of 2003, I had an internship with the university newspaper. Through this internship, I was able to write 6 articles about disability issues. In the fall of 2004, I got a job with the university newspaper, writing a weekly column. I could write about whatever I wanted, so I chose to write about my life. I loved the job, and I was very sad when I had to give it up because of my schedule the following semester.
Clearly, a large part of Beth Anne's success is driven by her desire to take university-level coursework. She has worked very hard to be ready to participate in college classes, and she has worked very hard to complete college-level coursework. In addition to Beth Anne's hard work, there have been some other factors that have contributed to her success. This is what Mrs. Luciani, Beth Anne's mother, had to say.
I think one of the biggest things that has made Beth Anne successful in college is the Office for Students with Disabilities here at CalU. They're phenomenal. They are just phenomenal. There is no task that we haven't asked of them that they haven't been able to perform, whether it's modified or exactly what we want. They find a way to get it done. And the professors, she hasn't had a professor in the English department that hasn't been open to her, hasn't encouraged her, hasn't been kind to her. And most of the professors, even outside of the ones from the English department also, have always said, what can we do to help? How can we make this better? Is there something we can change? Do you need extra time for this? Everyone at CalU, as far as the professors and the Office for Students with Disabilities, have been wonderful.
The Office for Students with Disabilities at CalU helps in a lot of different ways: planning classes, planning travel routes, and arranging support services. They have a very good understanding of Beth Anne's strengths and needs. Ms. Belitsky from the Office of Disability Services had this to say.
Many challenges for Beth Anne to attend every day. When I think of what must be in her world in terms of the daily and the long-term planning, certainly other students have to do that, but not nearly to the extent that it encompasses and must encompass Beth Anne's world. For example, are the buildings and classrooms accessible? That includes things that she might be attending after hours where traditional offices might close. As you may have noticed here today, we have a rather ambitious construction mission going on, and so, you know, what was an accessible route on Monday, perhaps that route has changed on Wednesday. You know, for other students, that's easily adapted to. For Beth Anne, it can be a very important situation. She may have to consider, is there computer usage in the class? Are there computer adaptations that might be necessary? I think she probably has had some thoughts about how to work effectively within a group. She's participated in group projects, and she's a good contributor, and she has a lot to contribute, but she has to train folks on how to allow her to make the best contributions to the group. And there's a very important component that other students don't have to consider that Beth Anne does, and that is, how can I demonstrate that I'm competent, that I can demonstrate competence, and I can do it with reasonable accommodations, but not substantially alter the fundamental nature of the coursework. Traditional students, students without disabilities, don't have to think about that. For a student with a disability in post-secondary, they hear that every time they come and do semester registration with us, that they are considered to be otherwise qualified with or without reasonable accommodation, but you don't substantially alter the fundamental nature of the coursework. And so there often has to be a lot of pre-planning, and Beth Anne does that. Other students, that doesn't even cross their plate.
When we spoke with faculty about Beth Anne's participation in class, they emphasized that Beth Anne did not need a lot of accommodations, just some careful pre-planning. Her English professor, Dr. Louise Van Curen, had this to say.
I think it's surprising that the accommodations that Beth Anne has needed have been pretty few, really. She keeps up with the daily classroom format and activity very well. The only thing that we really have to accommodate is that when I have a written assignment, if it's long, she may ask for some additional time because it takes her long to type out the text that she's going to use. In literature, because we read at a 300 level course level such a large amount of material, I have given her the reading list in advance so she can get started on it, something that a number of conscientious students like to do, but in her case it really helps her keep pace with the class. But aside from that, there's very little that she needs.
Even this brief video makes it clear how important it is to have strong family support. In this clip, Mrs. Luciani describes some of the ways she helps with Beth Anne.
I've been involved with Beth Anne as she attends colleges every way. I am here for her every day as her attendant, as her note taker, as her assistant when she takes tests. I attend all the meetings with the Office for Students with Disabilities, with her advisor. She and I consult on selecting classes. Because I work, there's a time consideration, so we have to work around that. And we have to work around the requirements of the class to see if it's something she can take. So I've been involved every step of the way.
Mom is her partner in education, and I really think will deserve a diploma on her own when she finishes in bringing her to class and sitting with her. She has really made Beth Anne's education her own dream as well, and she has been there, I'm sure, to provide some of that motivation for coming and to see that Beth Anne has this opportunity.
As Beth Anne has needed to make changes, so have the college faculty. We heard from Beth Anne's advisor, and he had some interesting advice for college professors.
One of the things you as a professor must keep in mind is that you don't know who's sitting in front of you. You don't know where that kid came from. So you can't have a blanket of expectations that you lay over a classroom full of kids and hope and demand that they all adhere to those expectations and meet those expectations. There were kids with all kinds of problems: emotional problems, family problems, financial problems, social problems, physical problems, or just they're part and parcel of what you deal with students.
It is very easy to look at someone who is going to take longer to type or speak and think this will be a challenge. But Alan raises a good point. College faculty need to be ready to work with students with a variety of strengths and needs, and sometimes the challenges that are most obvious are not the most difficult. We also spoke with Michael Storer, the transition coordinator at the Children's Institute. We asked him for his recommendations for individuals who use AAC, parents, and transition counselors.
I think really to try to see, well, a couple things. One, to have the student experience as many different types of situations as possible, and Beth Anne did that. I think really getting involved in, if they are in a segregated setting, to be in an inclusive setting, either in high school or to take some high school classes, or look at vocational training. Also look at having the last year that they're in high school be what their first year out of high school is going to be. In Beth Anne's case, going on to college. I think that was really helpful for her. It was real eye-opening to see what's happening. The other thing, too, is looking at what the requirements are. Because going on to college, they really don't change the academic requirements for an individual. So really looking at what those requirements are, and then to start to work with that student when they're starting high school to see what you can do as far as adapting classes and changing. I know in Beth Anne's case, that is one of the things that we did, and looking at increasing workloads, really looking at assignments that were due to make it more difficult and make it replicate more of what the college experience would be like.
I have described some of the work that goes into making college work. You may be wondering if it is really worth it. I told you my reasons for attending college at the start of the presentation: fulfilling a dream, increasing my knowledge, and getting ready for the workplace. We also were interested in what Cheryl Bilitsky had to say.
Attending college has provided many benefits for Beth Anne. A few notable benefits would include that here we have a qualified woman who, rightly so, has been afforded the same opportunity for educational growth as her peers. That would be right off the top for me. She's been afforded the opportunity to participate in a variety of coursework, and some that might surprise some members of your audience. In addition to Beth Anne's major coursework, she's taken courses in math, computer science. One of my favorite was oral communications, environmental science, and I don't know if your audience is aware that she's also done an internship with the Cal Times, which is pretty extraordinary. Most importantly, I think, though, too, is that she's had the opportunity to demonstrate academic excellence. And I hope I don't embarrass you, and I hope I have permission to share her grade point average. I don't know if that's been done at this point yet. Can I do that? Beth Anne right now has a 3.695 overall QPA. That's extraordinary.
Well, college has been a lot of work for me. I know it has been work for those around me as well. Finally, I thought I would share the opinion of my mom and what she had to say about making the decision for individuals who use AAC to attend college.
Do it. If your child says they want to attend college, do it. It is possible, it can be done, and if you're lucky enough to have your child enroll in a college with an OSD office as good as this one, then there shouldn't be a problem. If your child has the intelligence and the desire, do it.
I want to thank you all for listening to our presentation. I hope it has encouraged and given hope to some people. College was always a dream of mine. I am living that dream and I couldn't be happier. My mom is the driving force to my success, but my dream also wouldn't be coming true if it weren't for the wonderful people at California University. As my mom said, if it is possible, do it. I am doing it with one of the best support teams ever.